It's the first vlog of my new adventure, 6 months in South America, and I am now in Sao Paulo. Now arrived 36 hours ago in Campinas, and originally I was going to stay there for a couple of days, just get over my jet lag, but I just found that Campinas is not exactly exciting. It's the Silicon Valley of Brazil. So yesterday morning I decided to come up here, and that's the cathedral. So what's my first impressions of Brazil after being only here for a day and a half? First country I've been to where anyone that speaks English tells me, be careful, look after your valuables. In fact, when I got the bus here from Campinas, at the bus station, one of the inspectors took me to one side and said, when you get your wallet out, do not show big money, do not show your camera, do not show your iPhone. And that was at the bus station. So the bus here took about an hour and a half, and even when I said to the guy at the hostel I'm staying at the moment, and I said I'm going out to do some vlogging, he just went, don't take your camera. How can I do a vlog without my camera? So I've just been walking all the way around. Now just down there is a cafe called The Orange, where I had some omelette and cappuccino. And I've just been looking for somewhere to film that didn't look conspicuous, and I thought just outside the military police I'll be safe here. In fact, they're watching me in there, so so all I'm going to do is have a little wander around. Now I've been lucky enough to arrive here during El Niño, which is the weather craziness where it just rains every single day. In fact, when I arrived here yesterday it was pouring down, and I've been told that it's going to be the same in about an hour's time, so it's a case of get around as quickly as I can, see as much as I can, start with the cathedral. And I will walk past the military police because there's a lot of homeless people all the way down there. Hey, you okay? Introduce myself to the police, so if they recognise me in the hospital. Now this is El Centro. This is the centre of Sao Paulo, where the Jesuits priests in the 1500s came along and started a missionary to teach all the indigenous people Christianity. Now the other problem I've got is, because of Brazil, how big it is and the dangers, I needed to get a SIM card. So whilst in Campinas yesterday I tried to get any SIM card. I need a CPF card. The CPF card is social security number, and without it you cannot get anything at all. There's no tourist SIM cards neither. So at the moment I'm relying on Wi-Fi, which isn't the best over here. The Orange Cafe down there had Wi-Fi, so I was able to get a bit of information around here. But there you go. There's the cathedral. Are we allowed to go in? As you can see, there's police everywhere, and I mean everywhere. And I am a bit nervous walking around. I mean, I've been everywhere around the world. So I've been to Colombia, never had any problems there. It's just the fact I'm getting warned all the time. So I moved across all the way from the cathedral into Say Park, and this is the centre point of the city. This park has been here longer than the cathedral itself, but in the 1970s it was redeveloped to coincide with the metro station that was built underneath us, and somewhere is the entry point to the metro, but I've not seen it yet. But it's beautiful. You can see where the rain's been, but I have noticed that the water is being used by the homelessness as their bathing area. So there's someone washing their clothes over there. That young lady there's just been for a little bath, and I feel a bit safer walking around this area because there's hardly anybody around. But my plan is just to stay here for one more night and head towards the coast, where the weather is going to be a lot better. And there are tourists around. I mean, I'm trying not to stand out too much, but the fact I'm wearing an Australian top that I take everywhere for every adventure I've been on, it didn't really make me sort of fit in well. So on the map I looked at before I come down, there's maybe a lot of statues for a lot of the saints. Can't find any. A lot of modern art. And Sao Paulo is actually named after St. Paul. But I think I might have to have a wander somewhere else, because there is blue skies, but it's over there the dark clouds are coming. Ooh. I thought I'd actually have a walk into the cathedral, seeing as I'm here, just to see what it's like. Look at all these happy tourists. Right, hat off. Oh wow. So that was inside the cathedral, and originally there was a church that was built in 1589, it survived all the way through to 1911, and then it was demolished to build this thing here. And when I was walking around I was trying to be as quiet as possible because of the fact it's a cathedral, but all you could hear was my flip-flops squeaking, which was a little bit embarrassing. Yeah, right. I'm going to try and do some filming down here, just give you an insight of what it's like. Should be interesting. So this is just normal everyday life. I found my first statue, whoever he may be. Now usually when I walk around a city or town, I'll have my camera in one hand, my phone in the other, looking at the information I need to have, but phone is safely in my pocket with the zip zipped up. So this is just me trying to remember everything I've been reading. tourists out in force. Right, I think I'm heading that way. Now the temperature this morning when I came out was 25 degrees, but already I can feel it, it's just dropped a little bit. Padre Jose de Anchieta. So because of the temperature drop, I think that could be a sign that rain is on its way. I've now come down from the cathedral and I'm now in the Pateo de Collegio, which is Portuguese for the schoolyard, and this is the founding place of Sao Paulo in 1554. A little sign up there, 1554. Behind it is a statue. Don't know what it is. But the architecture around here is quite impressive. Now, I know this is a museum. I am trying to save my money after a couple of days of being a bit extravagant with my travels down here. So it's going to be a no-no to the museum. There you go. Here was founded the city of Sao Paulo. Just there. And a bell that needs ringing. But not by me. It's got the year 2000 on it. This landmark symbolises the ideal of all people in the security of peace, fraternity and solidarity. Well said. So there seems to be a lot of work going on. So I don't know if it's just because it's non-tourist season. And although that I've got all my stuff in my pockets and I've had all the warnings, I don't feel that threatened. Understandable, there's a lot of homelessness that is poor. This is not the sort of place I would come to at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I do feel safe. So I thought I'd have a little wander around the central shopping place. A lot of old buildings. It's a lot more quieter as well. And the sun is still shining for now. God, look at the size of that. But this is one of the things I was told in the guidebooks to look at, and this is Farol Santander, and it's a tall building. So this iconic building has been called the Empire State Building of Sao Paulo. It was built in 1947, and at the time it was the tallest building in the city and the tallest reinforced concrete building in the world. In the world! Now, the interesting fact about this place is on the 33rd floor there's a skate park. Now, still the Banco de Estado de Sao Paulo, as I say so in the sign. So it's a bank. So I'm not going to go in. but interesting place. So at the moment, all I'm doing, which I do so well, is just walking randomly around the streets. I've just come from down that street. I think that's the way towards the cathedral. I need to look at the map, but I've just found this big open space, all white. Statue there, guy guarding the place. I mean, it's quite nice. I might have to get a map out and find out where I am. Now, I don't know if you can pick up on the breeze that's coming through. It's starting to get a bit stronger. I think that might be the entrance to the metro. Might be. Oh, look at that. Right, time to get the map out. So I've just crossed the road from what looks like the metro station over there. And this is the City Hall, with the barriers outside to stop the plebs like me from going in. It's guarded well. But you can see all the historical buildings around here. And lots of roads. Oh, just had a child just try and bump into me. So further on up, I found a little bit of culture, Brazilian culture. So this is the old municipal theatre, built in 1911. I think it's a museum as well, but I am more interested across the road, trying not to get too close because there's music going, but there's a table tennis tournament going on in the middle of the street. The music was loud, so I went closer and I just took a quick film of people playing table tennis in the streets, and they all look happy. And I think it's a street event. So I've come back further down. Oh, some mounted police. Wow. Oh, the horses have got tattoos on them. So I've come down here because, as we all know, the Americas had the slave trade. But when Sao Paulo was being built, they had people from Africa come across to help them build it through the slaves. And the problem they had at the time was they wanted to go to church, and the European churches said no. So they built this, the Black Sun. This was a church built just for the black population of Sao Paulo. Its full name is the Church of Our Lady of the Rosary of Black Men. Just on the side of it, there's a statue. Wow. So this was completed in 1820. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to go in because we'll find out anyway. But it's decorated with this two black saints. Tip my hat off. I think that's one of the two black saints around. Wow. So I've just had a look online because I've got some free Wi-Fi from somewhere, I don't know where. I hope it's not someone that's trying to clone my account. But this was actually started to be built in 1704 by the slaves themselves. And it took over 100 years to complete, which is amazing. Wow. Coming down from the church behind me, coming down this wide boulevard, street, cafes, normal life. Now I'm not sure if I've been down to the centre down here before, because I am a little bit lost. As I said, there's a lot of security around here. No, not been here. I've seen a lot of these around. Not many people use it though. Oh wow, it's just one long street. Maybe this is where they do concerts. Who knows? I have been out for longer than what I thought I would be. The weather seems to be holding up, but I'm taking no chances. El Niño, I've been told, really hits hard only in the afternoons and at night. So I am going to head back to the hostel, somewhere that way. I might have to sit down and work it all out. Now I am leaving tomorrow. There is a chance I will be back in Sao Paulo. The reason being is tomorrow I'm going to head towards the coast. I think I need to get out of Sao Paulo, mainly because of the fact I'm still jet lagged. This place is a little bit overwhelming, that I need to go somewhere a bit more peaceful, a bit more quieter. And then I'm going to head down south. If you've seen my map from the previous video, the reveal, I'm going to go round towards Argentina, then back up towards Bolivia, and then back into Brazil, and then I will have to come back via Sao Paulo and then on to Rio de Janeiro, and by that stage I'll be back in my element of travel adventure. I wonder if this is the university area. A lot of cool kids hanging around, skateboards. So for someone that's jet lagged, tired, a bit wary, I think I'm doing not too bad in this video. But if you've enjoyed it, then all you've got to do is press that like button. If you want to see where I'm going tomorrow, because I need to work out tonight where I am going, then all you got to do is subscribe. Don't forget, while you like this video, press that hype button, which I've been told is a new thing. But until the next time, bye bye for now.